I'm Heather.
And I'm Katie.
And it's Cookie Friday. Alright, today we are making a kind of special recipe. This is a cookie that's actually called a tea cake. Now this is Katie's great-great-great-great-grandmother's recipe. So it's my grandma's recipe. And her name was Catherine, and she was from like Elizabethton, Tennessee. So the recipe is a little weird in how it's written. So I don't have like how long I have to bake the cookies or how long I have to stir things. I'm kind of just eyeballing it. But the lady that this recipe came from, she lived to be 104 years old. So these are good cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we can call these longevity cookies. But they're actually, she called them tea cakes. The first thing we're gonna do is we're going to cream together our butter and our brown sugar and vanilla. So we're gonna just go ahead and mix that up in our mixer, cream it together until it's good and fluffy. All right, so this is now where the recipe gets a little odd. I've never done anything like this before. This recipe calls for 3 tablespoons of boiling water to be drizzled in to your baking soda as you're stirring it continuously. And I'm not sure why that is, but we're gonna do it because it kind of like bubbles up. And then this goes into your sugar and butter and vanilla mix. So we're going to go ahead and turn that on and then pour this into here. This is weird. I've never made a cookie recipe like that before. Alright, so we're going to add flour in. Now the recipe says you use 3.5 to 4 cups of flour. And they said that the dough just needs to be, what was it said? It said that the dough just needs to be soft. So I'm taking that it's soft but not sticky. Kind of mix it, well actually I'll add a little more than half of it in here. And mix it up and see where it is.
I would just like to say I fully 100% support what's going on here.
I needed to roll them out, but I'm not sure that they're gonna. Well, actually, the directions said squeeze a bit off and then roll it out and then use a cookie cutter, but that doesn't make any sense. So I think we're just gonna roll them out
and then use a cookie
cutter.
How do they taste now?
Well, I don't know. Can you eat the dough?
Maybe we should just eat them that way.
I don't mind that.
So I'm not. So again, like I'm not quite sure how these are supposed to turn out because I've never made them before.
That's cool. It's nice and flat.
All right, so the recipe doesn't say how thick to roll them out. So I just assumed about as like if you were doing a sugar cookie. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut these out and then we're gonna place them on our cookie sheet. We're gonna sprinkle the tops of these with sugar because I think that these are kind of like a sugar cookie, but again, I don't know. So anyone who's in kind of that Tennessee area, if you guys know what these are or if you've ever had them, like I said, my grandma called them tea cakes, but they're not, I've never had a tea cake before, so I'm not quite sure how these are supposed to be made, but I'm making them the way that we make them. So.
That the recipe says how to make them, or
well, but the instructions are a little weird. So, yeah. Recipe says bake at 425. It doesn't say how long. We're gonna start with like 8 minutes and then just kind of work our way up from there. I think that they probably need to be a little brown on the outside edges. That's probably what we're gonna be looking for. So we're gonna go ahead and slide those in here, and I'll check them after 8 minutes. All right, so. Since we're having tea cakes, Katie, what are you making?
I'm making chai tea lattes.
And she discovered this today, and I came home from the post office and I had a mug of it waiting for me. So we decided, since we're having tea cakes, we might as well have tea with it.
Yes. So, what I have here is I have 4 black tea bags.
That you've opened up, right?
And I've opened up and poured in this cup here.
So you're going to need a percolator in order to do this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The original recipe where I found this from and then slightly modified it, they used a drip coffee maker.
Okay, so you can use a drip coffee maker?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So in here I have cinnamon, allspice, and ground ginger. And I'm going to put that in with our black tea here. There you go. And so now I'm going to put that in our percolator.
All right, if you can see here, we got a nifty filter for our percolator where it kind of folds in around itself. So you don't get any of the tea leaves in your tea. Or you don't get any coffee grounds in your coffee.
I'm going to put that on this back burner over here so that way it can percolate and I can work on the creamer for this latte.
You're whisking the brown sugar into the milk. And then you're going to add the spices to it. And then you're going to bring it up to a boil and then immediately take it off the heat.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you know how milk gets when it gets boiled. It gets all foamy.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you're like, what do I do? So I just took it off.
Okay.
But that's cool.
All right. All right, let's see. Okay, they seem to be set on the edges. I think that these are done. So I think 8 minutes. 8 minutes is good. I'm going to take these off and I'm going to put them on our cooling rack. So I believe that these are kind of like shortbreads.
So spices going into the milk originally was not in the recipe that I got this from. That was completely experimental by me. And
it turned out good though.
It turned out good. It made the stuff awesome.
Yeah.
So
now you're just waiting for that to come up to a boil, right?
Yeah.
All right. All right, Katie's going to pour it through this strainer into a mason jar. Hopefully it's not too hot that the jar will crack. But we're going to try to get some of the floaties out of it. Like the cinnamon and stuff like that. It looks like some of it's coming out, but
not all of it.
Not all of it, but that's okay.
At least you won't have a whole bunch of floaties in your cup.
And then that's going to be kind of the cream that goes into your tea.
Yes, and we'll show you how to put that in. Because there's a specific way you have to put it in. What we have here is we have our creamer. So we're going to put our creamer into our cups.
How far do you fill them?
I fill them like 1/4 of the way because you don't want it too creamery. I put a little too much in both of them.
That's all right. It makes it good.
Well, I know, but we need to save some for the boys.
No, we don't.
You're right, we don't. What we have here, whoa, that's heavy, is we have our actual
tea mixture?
Yeah, tea mixture. And there you have your chai lattes.
Yum. It smells really good.
It does smell really good.
So that is chai tea latte and tea cakes. So I think I'm going to take a bite of it first to see what it tastes like. It's good. It's kind of like a shortbread. And now I'm going to dunk it in my tea because that sounds yummy.
Makes it even better.
That's good.
You need to make both of these together.
These are good. So there's the 100-year-old tea cake recipe and Katie's brand new chai tea latte. Make sure you like and subscribe. Leave your comments down below. More updates as we go.
Bye.
Bye. Alright, so it says to bake them at 420. Don't do that, dog!
Hey, get away. That's
Go
my
away.
cookie dough. Go away.
Alright.